Hi everybody, I am sending this to you kind of off schedule. I've been doing a chronology of my vlogs, but I wanted to celebrate today with you. It is my 3-year anniversary of being on the road. Actually October 3rd, so I'm a little bit late, but I was traveling. Be sure that you go to Meander and check out the video that Robert just did with me, and he kind of did it like an interview. But for me today, it is kind of surreal and sad to not have my fur babies with me. As you all know, I started off this trip with Nonni and Bentley, and I am missing them so much this month because I'm celebrating 3 years. It's 2 more years than the doctors thought I would have, and I just thought my puppies would be with me. And I know that that's silly because they were old and they lived a good life, but I just am really sad that they're not here. And so I thought that I would go over today. I would honor them. Be sure to check out their videos, their tribute videos. And I thought that I would honor them and tell you some of the hazards that I learned in traveling with pets on the road full time. One is heat and cold. Obviously out here we are in the environment more than normal, so you're going to want to have clothing for them maybe that you normally wouldn't, but also heat and cold in the van. You go into the grocery store, for example, and if it's hot, you have to have a way to take care of them for that. And the cold, I mean, they actually help with the cold because they're snuggle buddies, right? But you have to be able to think ahead of all scenarios, and especially if you think you want to do any sightseeing, museums. Some national monuments won't let you take your dog out of your rig, so they have to be in the rig, and you have to have a way to keep them comfortable while in the rig regardless of the temperature. And that reminds me, rig issues. I used to be paranoid when I had a bumper pull trailer and I would go to work and my dogs would be in that bumper pull trailer. What happens if that trailer, like my Fiona, my first rig, she had an electrical fire? What would happen to my dogs if I had an electrical fire or something like that in the rig while I was gone? And yes, I know that happens in sticks and bricks too, but in sticks and bricks, it's usually something that you can catch, and it's something that happens slowly, and even temperatures moderate slowly if your air conditioner goes out or something in a sticks and bricks. In a rig in the summer, if that air conditioner goes out or if something happens like that, things can be over. So be sure and keep those in mind, and maybe have somebody watching your dogs for you or your pets if it's a cat, whatever. Some people who are even out here with birds while you're gone, have a backup plan. And that reminds me, absences. What happens if you are going to have to go somewhere to the doctor for a while? A friend of ours, Colleen, just recently got bit by a rattlesnake. If she'd been traveling with an animal, that you need to have a backup plan for that. Who is going to care for the animal while you are recovering? And by the way, she is doing just great. Love her, and Carol and Patricia took good care of her. So just have backup plans in case you're going to be away from the van, and be prepared for tragedies. What happens if something happens to you? Who takes the animals? Who gets the animals? Who's going to care for them? What is their long-term health care plan, in other words? And speaking of the environment, like I said, there's snakes out here, there's cactus in the desert that your dogs may not be used to, or even cats. There are, and animals are slick about getting out when you don't think that they're going to. I can't tell you how many people have lost their animals out here on the road because they got away from them when they didn't even know it, and they weren't being negligent. They loved their fur babies as much as I do, and they still grieve to this day. So be prepared that you're going to run into different environments. They may be out in the forest and be used to being able to find their way back to you, but in the forest you can get disoriented very quickly, and lots of animals do, and they don't make their way back. And there's rocks out here in the desert, for example. I've got a great video on taking care of your dogs in the desert, and I'll put that in the video description as well. Vet care. when you're in sticks and bricks, you go to the same vet all the time, all the time, all the time. I had mine for years, but out on the road, you have to know where the vet clinics are. You have to be able to maintain care for your animals, and you have to know where the emergency clinics are. That's one of the first things I check out when I get to a new campground. And also for rescue and retrieval, like I said, if something happens to you, what's the backup plan? Who's going to rescue your animal? Who's going to retrieve them for you long term and live out the rest of their lives with them? And probably budget. I didn't think about the budget of the health care for my dogs on the road. Not only the vet care for the unexpected things that come out here. Nonni got spider bit or something in one location, and that vet bill alone was $250. Everything is the same, only like an exponential of times 10 out here that you experience in sticks and bricks. Food and water. You have to be able to carry enough water for you and your fur babies. It's hard enough to get enough water if you're a nomad and boondocking for you and maintain it and fill up every time you're in town. And food. A lot of people, their animals, their fur babies, their hearts are on special food. And you can't change up food every time. What if you go to a town and they don't have that food? So you really have to travel with extra, and that takes up storage. So is it worth it? Absolutely. I'd do it over in a heartbeat, and I'm missing my fur babies so badly this month. And I know that Carolyn recently lost her Capone. Others have lost their animals out here on the road. Our friends Mark and Irene lost their beautiful cat. And even Stephen Locke, he lost his cat. We've just had so many people that have lost their animals while they're on the road. And I was very fortunate. Mine died a natural death, both of them in their bed, in the van, and I was with them both at the time. And, Nonni had a stroke, and the vet did help me with her. But, I mean, they both were in their bed, and they both were in the van. It's just heartbreaking enough to go through that anytime. But be thinking about those things if you're going to be traveling with your fur babies out on the road, because there are hazards out here that you don't necessarily think about in sticks and bricks. And I hope that you found this helpful. I am grateful for my 3-year anniversary out here. I didn't think that it would come, that this day would come, and it looks like I get to stay out even longer. So here we go, year 4. We'll see you down the road, everybody.